Yeah, I think yeah, I think because there's so many people going for funding locally, it's tough because everybody's it's got an idea and everybody thinks they should be funded. But what I've noticed over the last 5 years as someone who gets funding for local community projects, right? There's so much paperwork involved, and halfway through, you just want to give up and say, Why do I bother the paperwork, right? And how do I know if it's even going to be funded? There's no, and 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 what if it's going to get declined? I've just wasted freaking months of my thing. Like I spent 3 months on one I think a month, no, a month on one piece of like 30-page of write up I had to do, and then another one was another 20 odd pages and declined, right? And so you get disappointed, but it's if you don't try, you don't know, and like, but you have to produce something physical for people to actually see that you have done something, that it's actual something they can actually say, oh, okay, you have worked at something, because everybody wants to like get money for whatever they can come up idea they can come up with, but people out here want to see that you produce something. And you know like when I say like this, like we actually raised some funds to pay for this, and I paid money out of my own pocket towards it as well. And I had one of my friends, the one I mentioned, who was a 2000 AD guy. He put about $50 towards this, right? And now we got a physical thing. So I'm going to end up probably having to send him a physical little figure to say, hey, here, man, you know, I this is because I actually gave him a comic book, by the way, a signed comic book as well. And I just forgotten that I should send him one of those as well to say, hey, this is a physical figure that you helped me, you know, pay towards getting designed up and produced. And that's the thing, like, you can, they say the first port of call is your family and friends, right? And Because they're the ones who know you and know your passion, and they're the ones who you've been, telling about this great idea you've had, and they're the ones who can actually figure out if it's worthwhile, because they know what kind of person you are, and whether you'll stick with it. And that's the problem. Like, so if you do one project and you fulfill it and make it work and make it happen, people will then see, okay, well, that person, he actually went through it, she actually went through it, and they actually stuck with it. And because we don't want any fly-by-nighters, right? I think that's something that's serious. Even today, I was listening to indie indie comics network, and they're talking about it. It's like, people are just tired of like people not fulfilling um, their projects. They get the money and they run off with it, and that puts other people who would actually put money towards people who are going to fulfill it. You know, like actually give you their what they said they were going to do, from actually getting funding, because of the negative experience they've had from those who haven't fulfilled it and just taking the money around. And I'm the same. Like, I mean, I can understand that. So, I mean, I would be back. I'd back someone who's actually fulfilled it than who hasn't, right? Because that means they've actually committed to something, and people want to see commitment, and more than anything else. And yeah, yeah, and that's like even me now, right? It's like when we just had Incredi-Girl backed on the first issue of Incredi-Girl backed on Kickstarter, and so that meant that, like, because we had it fulfilled, now we're in the process of actually, I mean, not fulfilled but backed. That we're now in the middle of, like, working towards fulfilling the you know the actual, let me get this here off there, and I'll show you, of actually sorting through. what we're supposed to have with the project, right? So we raised 180 100 sorry, $1,181, that's US, of $900, right? So from 38 backers. So 3 of those backers are to be drawn into the comic book. So my artist is now drawing them into the comic books based off the photos they provided to us. One of them happens, 2 of them like happens to be speaking roles. So I had to go through and find out which places they would work in the pages. So we got 16, page 16 and 17 seemed to be the perfect place for them. And yeah, cheers, man. So, yeah, cheers. I don't know if you're a man, but yeah, cheers. So, so we got it fulfilled and not fulfilled, sorry, backed. 2 different words, right? Backed means, you got people paid for it. Fulfilled means when you actually have that in their hands, right? So we're in the process of fulfilling it. So the 2 people, which is all in, which is like $150 to be in, and like to get it, which is like half a page of write up or interview or whatever about them, whatever they wanted, and then then to get drawn in, and then to have speaking roles. So page 16 and 17 in the middle, right, of the story. Well, third half, whatever, third of the way through, they get drawn in, and so one of them is actually an original character the guy wanted to be in there, and so excuse me. And so with I took Kevin right now, his artist on it, is actually working on that, making sure that it looks good, because they're all 3 individual characters. It's not something out of his head. Now he's got to draw something that's based on someone. He's got to get it right, and that process is a longer process than with him just drawing up characters that he can think of. So I got to make sure that he's happy with what he's putting out before I can put it out. And also at the same time, we've got a colorist is actually working on coloring, the pages. All right, I think we're halfway through the coloring as well. So we've got an American artist, we've got a Mexican colorist, right? And so we got 3 of us working on it. And and while they're doing it, and as they come in, I got to put the text in, write finish off the book, and so and so while that's happening, we also got to look at the costings of it as well, because as we were doing this, we were actually adding more to it, like getting cards and stuff like that. We're doing like extra artwork while we're actually doing it, so we had to suss out like what pieces of work we'd put in, what covers we'd put in, what posters we put in. Extra artwork came in on top of what we already said we're going to do, and like trading cards. Here you got Incredi-Girl with trading card. You got like the Templeton twins, which is another 2 characters that we're going to add in. That this is all the covers that we had for it. And then you had the rewards and so on. And so this is a two that's taken the longest is the black and all in tiers, right? And so you had all the stuff and so on, and those are just the mock-ups of what we're going to put out there. But it got fulfilled. I think every tier was backed, which is really cool and which is quite interesting. Like for the first book. So when I say when like people want to see you know a trust, right? So we have to fully make sure this is fulfilled, like everybody gets what they paid for before we can do the next project. And I've already got, we're already halfway a couple of the books for the next projects, right? And especially Robot Nation, we're like almost like 2/3 of it way through. I think we've got more 10 more, yeah, 2/3 of the way through. We've got 10 more pages and we're done on that book. And then we've also halfway through Incredi-Girl number 2, right? and we've got the first issue of which we're going to get colored. So right now we're letting it, a high school student color it. So it's like school year, right? So she won't be able to do it until she's free. And so I've just said, just do it at your own pace. Got the next 6 months to do it, and right, not worried about it because I like your artwork and coloring stuff. Let's do that. And plus, I'm creating opportunities for someone to be part of it, local to be part of it. And so that's a manga, right? Manga style, 3-issue comic book, which is a supernatural horror. But I can only have her working on the first issue and not the second and third because of her age, right? Because it's a mature comic series. So, but the first issue is fine. So and yeah, so we got about 5 more books coming out, and so but I can't get start on any of those going out until I've got this fulfilled. And so that's so we've given ourselves until February for this book to be ready by. So everybody's aware that's how long we've got, but we're hoping we get it done beforehand. But we want to put a good product out, right? And so that people can go, oh, okay, right, we know now they've got it. And then for those who missed out on the first issue, we can offer it in the second issue. So we can say, hey, okay, you know, of course I understand that you guys weren't sure it would fulfill this. So for those of you guys who want to still get the first issue, you can, but here's the cost, right? And it's a head-on and stuff. And yeah, so with that, we didn't get much into Mobius, but I've been at it for 4 hours, so I think I'm all talked out and my back's starting to ache. Like I said, I had a slip disc last week, so I'm still feeling the pain of it, but I'm quite, yeah. So thank you for joining me, and check out, like, while I'm here, like, check out Rising Sun Comics, and also definitely check out, you know, cheers, dude, appreciate it. So definitely check out risingpublishinggroup.com. You'll find our magazine there. I don't think it's out. I don't think it's dated. Even though we did it 3 years ago, but the artwork, the comics, 40 pages, I think it's 40 pages at least of comics that you can read for $2.99 US, right? I think it's about $7 and something, $6 New Zealand. What was it? $6? Yeah, something like that, New Zealand. But here's the actual link for the site, if you want to check out the other stuff, because there's a lot of stuff there. So this is our publisher, right? So you can check it out. But yeah, so they're the ones who like sort of go through. It's an independent comic publisher, so it's not the mainstream. In case wondering, like, oh, you're all mainstream. No, we're not mainstream. So we're just independent, and we just create our own comics. We do it ourselves, and then we go, okay, you guys run this for us because we're busy creating stuff. And but I'm the one who replies to the Kickstarter every week. Hey, this is where we're at right now. This is what's been done. And this is how much work we've got to do and where we are at with it. So everybody's aware how far we're on it. So thank you for watching. Hey man, thank you, Mitya, for being with me. And yeah, and for everybody else, wherever you are, and yourself, Mitya, be well, ka kite anō, be safe, give your loved ones a hug, and you never know what's going to be, the next day holds, the next hour. But be well, and we'll see you next time.